This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning for July 9, 2023, farmer found dead in suspicious house fire in St. Elizabeth. The body of a St. Elizabeth farmer was found inside what remains of his dwelling, which was gutted by fire early Saturday. The deceased has been identified as 49-year-old Everett Medley. Reports from residents are that Medley was last seen in his community of Barton on Friday night, where he attended a candlelight vigil. At around 1:30 a.m., one of Medley's relatives reported seeing fire coming from his one-bedroom dwelling and alerted the authorities at the Santa Cruz fire station. Residents believe that the fire was deliberately set, as they noted that less than an hour before, Medley had scared off an intruder who attempted to break into his next-door neighbor's house. The residents believe the intruder may have returned and retaliated against Medley. NWC workers threaten strike action. Workers at the National Water Commission on Friday issued a 72-hour strike action notice. In a letter addressed to the management of the commission, workers expressed dissatisfaction with the position advanced by the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service at a meeting held on July 3. The workers threatened to take industrial action if there was no successful resolution to the matter linked to a job evaluation exercise which aims to align with the new compensation structure for the public sector. This response the workers deemed to be unacceptable and have therefore mandated us to advise that if the matter is not satisfactorily resolved within the next 72 hours, they will have no option but to resort to industrial action, read the letter signed by the National Workers Union's Granville Valentine and head of the Union of Public and Private Employees, Fitzroy Bryan. It is understood that the workers are likely to stay off the job come Tuesday if an emergency meeting is not called involving the management of the NWC and the finance minister. All set for PNP St. Mary Central runoff. Full of bluster ahead of Sunday's vote, both candidates hoping to replace Dr. Maurice Guy as the People's National Party's representative for St. Mary Central are confident of a win. Both feel they have done enough to win over delegates who will gather at St. Mary High School to vote for the man they think has the better chance of making sure the PNP retains its grip on the constituency at the next general election. With the incumbent Dr. Guy, who has indicated he will not seek re-election, refusing to choose sides publicly, Senator Floyd Morris and the former head of PNP affiliate, the Patriots, Omar Newell, have not been shy about blowing their own trumpets. I am confident and very optimistic that I will win, as I ran a clean campaign and brought a message of hope to the people, said Morris, Jamaica's first blind senator, who was also at one point president of the upper house. He said he has campaigned on issues such as his vision for areas including education, improved infrastructure through better water and roads, sports development, and employment within the parish. He believes this has been enough to convince delegates across the constituency that he is the better choice. I am strong in all the divisions, and I know victory will be mine on Sunday, Morris told the news. When Floyd Morris becomes the Member of Parliament, it will give my party a major lift. It is history in the making, he added. But the man standing in his way is equally confident of victory. I come with a different approach of leadership, which is a democratic socialism one, Newell told the news. He said his mission for the constituency includes improving the lives of the people through his plans for education, low-income housing, tourism and entertainment, along with the continued work of investing in sports development. Central St. Mary is one of the most sought-after places to live in, and I have plans to develop it through investors by building low-income housing in Highgate, said Newell. If elected, he also plans to continue some of the work done by the sitting MP while putting his own stamp on the constituency. I will continue the work of my mentor, Dr. Maurice Guy, in handing out grants for tertiary students, but there will also be revamping of school boards in the constituency to be more valuable to the schools, and the parents promised Newell. He too said he is leading in all 4 divisions, with support from him being strongest in Highgate and Islington. Unlike Morris, who is making his second attempt to become the parliamentary representative for the constituency, in which he, like Newell, was born, this is Newell's first time in a political race. In June, an internal PNP opinion poll showed that the party supporters saw Newell as the better option, besting the JLP's last horse in the 2020 race, Lennon Richards, 43.8% to 28.2%. Morris also came out ahead of Richards, but with a smaller margin, 39.5% support versus 27.1%. The leaked results sent Morris into damage control mode, and in a voice note issued to supporters, he assured them that he was still in the race. More than 600 students miss tests, while 26% get into schools of first choice. What has happened to more than 600 students who had registered for the primary exit profile examinations held last March remains a mystery. According to statistics provided to the news by the Ministry of Education and Youth, more than 600 students from both sexes failed to participate in the exam, and it is uncertain what will happen to them, assuming that they are still in the school system. There was no official comment from the Education Ministry as the news prepared for its deadline, but one senior officer suggested that none of the more than 600 could be placed in a high school without sitting the PEP examination. The official said that it was likely that all would have to do a resit next year, regardless of the reasons provided by their parents or guardians for their absence. It is understood that among those who were registered to sit the examination were children who have emigrated to countries in the regions of North America, the Caribbean, and the United Kingdom. In April last year, the Education Ministry reported that more than 32,000 students had been missing from the formal education system since March 2020, when the novel coronavirus pandemic hit. The ministry subsequently implemented what it labeled a yard-to-yard Find the Child initiative to identify, locate, and re-engage students given the pandemic's impact on the education system. 2 months ago, Education Minister Favour Williams said that schools had almost returned or are fully back to pre-COVID-19 levels of student attendance. The news also found that 26%, or 8,105 of the approximately 35,500 students who sat the PEP examination were placed in the school of their first choice. The overall number included 18,452 males and 17,653 females. The Education Ministry has said recently that 85.5% of the students who sat the examination had been placed in schools of their choice. Each student can select from 7 schools of choice. The placement method of the 85.5% accounted for 30,984 students being placed at one of the 7 school choices given to grade 6 PEP students. The ministry stated that the remaining 4,521 students were placed at the secondary schools either in close proximity to their home addresses or manually. Of the 17,380 females sitting the assessment, 15,303 were placed by preference, while 2,060 were placed by proximity and 90 manually. Of the 18,125 males sitting the assessment, 15,681 were placed by preference, 2,074 by proximity, and 476 manually, the ministry said in the breakdown of its statistics. A deeper look at the MOEY statistics showed that 5,432 students, which is 18% of the candidates, were placed at their second choice school. At the same time, only 2,246 students are heading to the school at the bottom of their list. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.